As I speak to you, there is a growing conflagration that's taking place in Jerusalem. Some are referring to it as the Third Intifada, where Palestinians are being incited by their leadership to try to start fights, bring violence. Been a number of stabbings, a number of deaths, even going into the old city. This may very likely continue until there is a forceful discontinuance of it that is brought about by the Israelis. They'll not stand for this long. The Israeli people are getting tired and they're getting frightened and overly cautioned about it. And at the same time, something that that bodes even more dire circumstances and a dire future for Israel is the Russian expansionism that's taking place in the area. Russia has come to Syria's aid, and Israel is becoming increasingly concerned about that. As a matter of fact, Reuters reports, along with the Israel Hayom staff, that tomorrow, Tuesday, a senior military delegation will visit Israel for 2 days of talks on how the countries can avoid accidentally clashing, Israel and Russia clashing while operating in Syria. Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu and Russian President Vladimir Putin agreed on September 21st to set up teams as Russia steps up military support for Syrian President Bashar Assad, who has been losing ground in an Islamic-led insurgency. Israel is worried. Israel is worried the Russian deployment, which includes advanced anti-aircraft units and warplanes, risks pitting Russian forces against its own Israeli forces in Syria. According to foreign reports, Israel has carried out a number of strikes in Syria in recent years to prevent the transfer of advanced weaponry from the Assad regime to the Lebanese terrorist group Hezbollah, and they will continue to do that, and Netanyahu has informed Putin that that will be the case, that arms coming to Hezbollah will not take place. Israel has said it holds the Syrian government responsible for any spillover violence from the 4-year civil war there. On September 27th, Israel struck Syrian military targets on the Syrian side of the Golan Heights in retaliation for cross-border rocket fire. The Russian delegation that's coming on tomorrow to Israel will be led by First Deputy Chief of the General Staff, General Nikolai Bogdanovsky, who will meet his Israeli counterpart, Deputy Chief of Staff, Major General Yair Golan. The two will meet at a military command headquarters in Tel Aviv as a part of a 2-day visit of the Russian Army delegation to Israel. Among other matters, they will discuss regional coordination issues, an Israeli military officer said on Monday. After Putin and Netanyahu met, an Israeli military officer who spoke on condition of anonymity told Reuters that countries would focus on aerial operations in Syria and, quote, electromagnetic coordination. And evidently this means a reference to the sides agreeing not to scramble each other's radio communications or radio tracking systems, devising ways of identifying each other's forces to avoid any unintended confrontation in the heat of battle. Finally, in explaining Israel's objectives in coordination with the Russians, Netanyahu told CNN in an interview on Sunday, quote, I went to Moscow to make it clear that we should avoid a clash between Russian forces and the Israeli forces. Quote, in Syria, I've defined my goals. They are to protect the security of my people and my country, of Israelis and of the state of Israel. Russia has different goals, but they should not clash. They should not clash. That remains to be seen. That remains to be seen because there is a confederation that Russia is heading in support of Syria, made up of Syria, Iraq, and Iran. That's a 3-nation confederation. And it's my understanding now that overtures are being made for Russia to come into the leadership vacuum that exists in Libya, North Africa, because of the oil that is there. and no one is, we have retreated from it, and no one has taken the leadership. That's ripe for Russian intervention. All this sounds like, and I think looks like, the Magog Confederation that's given to us in Ezekiel chapter 38, 39, especially 38. The nations are spelled out there. Gog, Magog. There's Persia, there's Libya, there's Iraq, Iran that are in that. Could this be the forerunner? Could this anticipate the Daniel 9:27 covenant that sets up the 7-year period that eventuates in the glorious coming in power and great glory of Jesus our Messiah? Could the Daniel 9:27 covenant be
the attacks of Paris have only heightened fears
on the visible horizon here? I say yes. Sooner or later, that's going to happen from that same confederation of nations. And sooner is getting sooner all the time.
It's open, summer 2014. The sound of thunder woke me up from my sleep. Throngs of angry people storming European streets, waving signs, shouting things that you wouldn't believe. Death to Jews in France, no chance you heard me. Even worse, it was gas to Jews in Germany. I don't know about you, but it's starting to worry me. Barely made the news. It's cool they assure me just Muslim immigrants watching Gaza and worrying. Israel's killing innocents is really unnerving them. And maybe they in ignorance show something disturbing. A little overzealous, that accounts for their word. At least that's what they tell us, so we ignore what's emerging. And unfortunately, it's lurking. We got no idea about the evil that's lurking. There's a storm coming. If all this hate's about the state of Israel, now what's that got to do with pulling food from the shelves of the grocer in London who was too afraid to sell something kosher, lest he be attacked as well? What that Jewish owned pharmacy burned down as our cell when Muslims bombed a synagogue with Molotov cocktails. The day in 1942, Nazis murdered Jews there. My getting through to you, my making it clear it's anti-Semitism, not anti-Israel. So used to living with that think it's no big deal. All this violence and hate, they ain't going nowhere. We can't wish it away with some span over spell. Get your head out of the sand, Europe, this is for real. Can't unsee what I've seen, don't unhear what I tell. Jew hatred runs deep, it's a bottomless well. Now that hatred is back, like cancerous cells. Jews are under attack, somebody ring the bell. It's high tide, water rising, better brace for the swell. There's a storm coming. Listen, hear that thunder in the distance, getting closer every minute. Did you ever wonder what you're missing? When you're too busy to pay attention, can't you sense it? Storm's coming any minute. No sense in waiting till we're in it. 2 by 2 we gon' send them for the rain start spilling. Now you know we got a mission, are you with me? I ain't being alarmist, I ain't trying to shock. The summer wasn't anything like Kristallnacht. There was a day you see what's coming, or you choose to not. Like when Theodore Herzl witnessed Albert Dreyfus and the DACA decorated French Jew accused of treason. Jacques Hughes convicted for no reason. Paris streets that were teeming with people shouting and screaming, no doubt about it, increasing. And Dreyfus couldn't appease him, cause they'd imagined a grievance, like credence to the belief that maybe the Jews were the reason for all the problems they see. And Herzl watched the proceedings, and then it hit him the need of his fellow Jews for a state. The only place they'd be free from the tidal wave of hate about to flood the whole region. He made his case for escape. He tried to reach him, but it was too late before the world believed him. He saw the storm coming. That was back in 1894, 40 years before the show would hit Europe's shores. What if they listened when he tried to warn about the storm clouds he saw beginning to form? What if they listened to Noah when he was building the ark? Not a cloud in the sky, man, no cause for alarm. But he had the foresight to see the flood from afar. Not to see as he liked, but see things as they are. Now seeing it's easy, but believing it's hard. Cause then we choose to ignore it or to do our part. Do we lay on the beach and watch the sky grow dark? Or do we stand in the breach and get the people ashore? We got no excuse, don't gotta look that far. See the storm clouds gathering, the sky grow dark. Hear the thunder rattle, see the lightning spark. There's a storm coming, whether we're ready or not. Listen, hear that thunder in the distance, getting closer every minute. Did you ever wonder what you're missing? When you're too busy to pay attention, can't you sense it? Storm's coming any minute. No sense in waiting till we're in it. 2 by 2 we gon' send them for the rain start spilling. Now you know we got a mission, are you with me? it'll hurt so to see it. So why does it take the likes of ISIS then for us to believe it? They screaming death to the Jews and Hitler was right. You think they don't mean it? Just ask the 4 people dead outside that Belgian museum. I ain't saying be scared, I got my rhymes and my reasons. I'm talking signs and the seasons, you gotta know how to read them. So to swallow, I'm pleading. If you can follow, I'm bleeding. I'll do my best to get you there. I'll be your Sacagawea. That old serpent, sown a lot of seed. One day soon, he's coming to reap. Let's not wait for that fruit, man, those roots run deep. Was there ever an age when hating Jews wasn't the thing? It comes and goes in waves like a pendulum swings. And there's a wall of water coming like you wouldn't believe. Never again, happen again, I ain't waiting to see. No, I'ma warn him about the storm and I'ma help him to leave. El Al, the higher ground, touchdown in Tel Aviv. Up to Yisrael, where the showman never sleeps. We going 2 by 2, you finally see what I mean. Headed to an arc between the Jordan and the sea. אז בוא נעלה למדינת היהודים.